Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is just after 6 o'clock, 6:07 to be precise. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the final hour of our Wednesday, Jan 14 edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Once again, happy birthday to my lovely sister. She is Karen. She is a Karen. And she's 50-something today. I don't know how old she is. I wish I did. Let's see. Let me figure this out. I'm 52.
Old.
My brother's 54. I think my sister's 55. I think that's right. Or 56. I think she just turned 56. Man, we're all old. We're all old, but it beats Plan B there, Jackson. Speaking of Jackson, we have an Action Jackson Sports Minute coming up in mere seconds on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I also have news for you. If you want to get votes in, get them in right now, unless it's a vote for Ken Weaver. Ken Weaver is current. Jackson, I hesitate to say, Ken Weaver is currently leading Nincompoops in the news on this Wednesday.
Vote for me. Vote for Ken is a vote for communism.
No, don't vote for Jackson because Jackson is way in third place. So you are in third place, my friend. I'm in second place.
I am just saying, if you vote for Ken, you must love socialism. Because that's what we're becoming, a dictatorship.
So you're suggesting any vote for Ken Weaver, you might as well be voting for Joseph Stalin.
I wasn't going to say it, but you took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay. I'm not against it. Oh, look.
Come on, comrades.
Don't you boys dare vote for Comrade Ken.
Somebody just voted for the Murphinator. I like that.
All right, the Murphinator.
Uh-huh. I vote Weaver. Sally says, today's my brother's birthday also. Happy birthday, Sally's brother. And then 3686 goes W-E-A-V-E-R, Weaver.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
And Nolene has put the question to bed. Nolene says it's emu, like the cow moo.
It is emu.
That's what she says. That's the way she's always said it.
All righty.
All right, so if Weaver does take out the victory, and you've only got about a minute or so left to vote, I just got one in. If Weaver gets the victory, then that is one vote Murphy, one vote Weaver, one vote Jackson for the week, which means that Ken Weaver still can potentially retain the title.
Yes, sir.
Or if Jackson and Matt Murphy battle it out over the next 2 days, we'll have to figure that out. Because I don't know what we do if you and I tie 2-2. And Ken currently has the title. Ken will say he keeps the title, but he doesn't.
No, then it's a fight to the death.
All right. Or I could just buy you lunch and you let me have it for a week.
That sounds more appealing.
That's fair.
Okay.
I am very easily bought.
We are going to the United States Senate, where there was a hearing that happened earlier today that I want to share with you. You will absolutely love it. It's about 4 minutes of audio, but you'll love it. But before we go there, we first turn our attention to the world of sports for an Action Jackson Sports Minute, where there's an update on the coaching search for the Tennessee Titans. Jackson?
Little bit of an update here. I believe last week I said in a sports update that I didn't think the Titans had a chance at old John Harbaugh, coach for the Ravens.
No, you said not a chance in Hades, I think is what you said.
Well, it seems as Hades is frozen over.
Oh, what?
This is from Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports.
Well, if Matt Zenitz says it, then it must be true.
He's been on top of a lot of this coaching news.
Uh-huh.
John Harbaugh's upcoming meeting with the Titans scheduled for Thursday. He met with the New York Giants today at their facility. He is meeting with the Titans at his home tomorrow.
Whoa.
And John Harbaugh's upcoming meeting with the Titans is the only other meeting currently locked in for him coming out of his meeting with the Giants, according to sources telling CBS Sports. Giants and Titans seem to be, at the moment, the only two teams to keep an eye on with him, per sources.
Wait, so you're saying that Harbaugh is locked into either the Giants or possibly the Titans, and that's about it?
This is fluid. So he could decide he wants to take a meeting with the Falcons, who have been the other team rumored. But currently, he had his meeting with the Giants today at their facility. Their goal was to not let him meet with the Titans.
And he's meeting with the Titans.
He is meeting with the Titans tomorrow.
Well, okay.
Titans are currently on their way to wherever John Harbaugh lives. His parents live about an hour north of here. Could be listeners.
Wait, John Harbaugh's parents
Live in Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the listening area.
Wow. Mr. and Ms. Harbaugh, welcome in. Glad you listened. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. We appreciate you being P1s. And tell your boy we would love for him to be the head football coach of our beloved Tennessee Titans.
Would very much love it.
Mr. and Ms. Harbaugh, give Jackson a call on the call-in line, 615-737-9986. Let him know you're listening. And you don't have to go on the radio with us. We wouldn't presume to intrude on your evening that way, but we would love to know that you're listening up in Bowling Green. And way to go on that Corvette Museum. Pretty nice. Okay,
But yeah, a lot of news, a lot of moving parts, and the Titans could still end up with Matt Nagy.
Aren't there like 10 openings now?
There are 9.
Wow.
Steelers, Ravens, Titans, Giants.
Wait, are you going to name them all?
Yeah, I got 4. Falcons, Dolphins,
New Orleans?
Cardinals.
No, not New Orleans. We'll get back to that. I'm impressed you got 7. There's a lot
Browns.
of them.
And what's the 9th?
I don't know.
I don't know the 9th.
Jets?
No.
Jets, Jets. No?
No.
Why wouldn't the Jets fire their coach? I thought they did that every year. No, that's the Browns.
The Titans, Browns, and Jets all fire their coaches every 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I want to say there was Green Bay. Did you mention Green Bay? No, that's a rumor.
Green Bay kept their coach.
But wasn't that a rumor for a minute?
It was.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to some political news, and we'll let Jackson figure out who the last team is. Earlier today, there was a United States hearing. You know, we discussed yesterday the United States Supreme Court oral argument involving transgender athletes in female sports. And the argument amongst the states that have banned this activity, Tennessee among them, is that it is completely unfair for females to have to compete with males. You can do this one of 3 ways. You can either have, what'd you get?
Raiders.
There you go. Good for you. Raiders. Pete Carroll, is he coaching again in the NFL or in college?
Well, he was just fired, so no.
Well, I mean, but I'm asking.
Oh, no, he's done.
You think he's, you know, the trend has been to go younger and younger in the NFL, certainly, and even in college, but, you know, we'll see. All right, so yesterday the United States Supreme Court had oral arguments. I listened to about an hour of these oral arguments, and let me tell you, Ketanji Brown Jackson, not a very smart human being. I mean, we all knew that she was a diversity hire. When you limit your hiring scope to less than 6% of the general population, when you exclude 94% of the general population, as Joe Biden did, he said, not only am I hiring a female, that's half right there, I'm hiring an African-American female. Now you've limited yourself to about 5.5%, 6% of the American population, and you didn't hire a very good one at that, in as much as Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't seem like a very bright human being. Now, her color and her gender have nothing to do with that, because let me tell you, even politically, ideologically bent liberals can be smart. They might be wrong, but they can be smart. Elena Kagan is a smart person. She's wrong most of the time, but she's a smart lady. Ketanji Brown Jackson is not smart. She couldn't tell you what a girl was if it hit her in the head. Well, they had this argument, these oral arguments yesterday on males competing in female sports. And it is believed that the Supreme Court is about to decide that transgender athletes are not a protected class. Therefore, they can compete in the sport that they choose, assigned to they can be assigned to the gender classification of their birth. In other words, if you were born a dude, you can compete with the guys. Otherwise, you don't get to compete. Or alternatively, you can set up a third category. I've long said, look, if you've got transgender people that want to compete in athletics, set up a third category. Call it, or compete. If you're a male, you have to compete with the men. If you're a female and you want to be male, compete with the men. Go ahead. Good luck. I am certainly not wagging my finger at female athletes. I want to protect female athletes. At the same time, women are biologically different than men. And that used to be something that we would state without fear of reprisal. without fear that people would come at you, without fear that people would get angry at you. Nowadays, not so much anymore. And then there's this. This is a delicious piece of audio. It's a little longer than we would normally play you. It is about 5 minutes long, and so I'm going to try. I got to get into it right now, and I might have to cut it off and chop it up a little bit. This is Senator Josh Hawley. Senator Hawley, they're holding a Senate hearing on transgenderism and medical issues in the halls of Congress. And Josh Hawley took to the microphone, and he was questioning Dr. Nisha Verma. Dr. Verma is a gynecologist, an OBGYN to be more specific. According to her biography, Dr. Nisha Verma is an obstetrician gynecologist, complex family planning specialist, a clinician researcher committed to improving access to abortion care in the U.S. Southeast, which is her home. She was born in North Carolina to Indian immigrant parents, received a bachelor's in biology and anthropology, and her medical degree from the University of North Carolina. So, Dr. Verma is being questioned by Senator Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley has one question for Dr. Verma. One. And you're going to hear it and watch it now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get pregnant?
I take care of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
I'm going to pause it there, and we're going to take it up on the other side. It just gets better or worse if you're Dr. Verma. Much like the question, what is a woman? A woman is an adult female. That's an easy answer. Sadly, liberals can no longer answer that question. I thought we were beyond this, and Josh Hawley's going to reflect on that in just a moment. He's asking a question that every single one of you, I would dare say that if you have a 10-year-old in your home, maybe even an 8-year-old, maybe even a 6-year-old, if you have a child in your home, why not do this with your kids? If you feel like you have a child that's age appropriate, just ask them and report back to me on the super text line, 615-737-9986. The question is, can men get pregnant? I don't feel like it's that hard. This is just going to get worse for Dr. Verma. And we'll share it with you next. 21 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Several of you have already conducted this experiment. I guess you're in your homes, or perhaps you're in your automobiles heading to your homes, and you have your young children with you. And I'm not asking you to ask a 4-year-old this question, but if you feel like your kid is, I would be curious the youngest that we get. Ask the question. Just ask your 8-year-old, ask your 9-year-old, can boys get pregnant? See what they say. Sadly, for Dr. Nisha Verma, it's a little more difficult. So Josh Hawley is starting with something simple. He understands that there might be some disagreement between himself and the woman testifying before him, Dr. Nisha Verma. And so he starts with what is seemingly a simple question. It reminded me greatly of what Marsha Blackburn did to Ketanji Brown Jackson several years ago when she asked her the question, what is a woman? Well, Dr. Verma is being asked, can a man get pregnant? Real quick. Ken still back there? I know he's got news coming up. Is he back there? No, he's not back there right now. Jackson, I'll just ask you, just real quick. Just first thing that comes to your mind. Jackson, can a man get pregnant?
Yes.
You see what I'm dealing with? Y'all see what I'm dealing with?
I'm just kidding now.
You see what I'm dealing with, y'all? Poor Jackson. Dr. Verma, you would think, could figure out a better answer for this, but apparently she cannot. We continue with her evasiveness.
Saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So, can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be.
I mean, are y'all beginning to see how absolutely, absurdly, profoundly dumb these so-called educated people are? They have boxed themselves in this emotional corner where they want to feel good about themselves and they want everyone else to feel good about themselves. Look, I've long said that if you are a grown person in the United States of America and you want to walk around and you want to call yourself a box of rocks, I'm a box of rocks. I'm a box of rocks. Well, good for you. You're not a box of rocks. You might have a brain full of rocks. There's more. We'll get to it in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around with us. We've got lots of you on the Super Text line offering your thoughts on this testimony offered by the good doctor, Dr. Verma, in front of a Senate committee today. Dr. Verma was being questioned by Josh Hawley. I'm going to play the end of that for you in just a moment. But several of you have already sent in your correspondence with you and your son, daughter, your youngster in your lives. Because I asked the question, I mean, what child can't answer this question? And this is a medical doctor, a trained professional, and she's having difficulty with it. We've got about 2 more minutes with it. So Josh Hawley's like, okay, let's start simple here. Can a man get pregnant? And she will not answer the question. Why not? So what is the harm in saying, no, a man can't get pregnant? Sometimes a woman who wants to be a man can get pregnant. There are women who have decided that they want to be guys, but they still want to have babies. I mean, this isn't appropriate, but you're so worried about offending the delicate sensibility of these people that you're ignoring basic medical training and medical science? Liberals have gone absolutely insane.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women, And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged. And yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized languages
I'm here to represent the complex experiences of my patients. So some of your patients are mentally deluded to the point that they think that they're men when they're not. They want to be men. And y'all know this if you listen to me for any length of time. I am sympathetic to people whose wires have gotten crossed. And that's what we're talking about. And I don't say that in any derogatory way. I say it because that's what they tell me. So let's walk through this and then I'll play the end of the clip, okay? If I'm sitting talking, and I've talked to transgender people before. I'm talking to a transgender person, and I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. This is a grown-up, for example. I mean, obviously. Anyone under the age of majority does not need to be messed with. They don't need to take drugs. You need to wait until they are of consenting age to make any decision, any medical decision about this. We wait on tattoos. We wait on smoking. We wait on alcohol. And if you want to cut on your body from in whatever fashion, plastic surgery, whatever. But invariably, they say, I should have been born. So let's say they were born male and they want to be a woman. And they will tell you, I should have been a woman. I am a woman in my mind. I'm a woman. Okay, but you don't have women parts. Well, that was a mistake. An error was made. That's what they tell me. Obviously, an error was made. But then if I send that back to them in a way that they don't like the language, they get mad. That's what you're telling me. If you are telling me that you should have been a woman, that you were born a woman, that you ought to be a woman, but you have a penis and you have testicles, then what you are telling me, if I accept all of that garbage, then by definition, you're telling me that a mistake was made when you were born. Now, I don't believe in any of that. But it's a free country. But now we've gotten to the point where we can't call it what it is. We can't call it an error. We can't say, well, I was born a man, and a man can't have babies, obviously. No, apparently you can't, even if you're a medical doctor. And she gets very upset that he's hurting the emotions of the patients that she represents.
The complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing. That is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
That's Josh Hawley winding up with Dr. Verma, who apparently doesn't know that men cannot get pregnant. Now, most of you do, and most of your kids do. I mean, this has reached the level of satirical nonsense. But many of you say, I asked my kids about it. Let me see. Where do they find these nutcases? You're exactly right. Straight jacket, padded room, lithium, no question. Matt, maybe the University of North Carolina should ask for their medical diploma back. 3879 says, if you think you are a sex other than what you were born, it is a mental issue, not physical. Lots of mentally ill folks out there, no question. And we allow a lot of those folks to live a life of their choosing. And then we got into, my 14-year-old son said, no. So I asked some of my audience, if you feel like your child's of age, ask them, can men get pregnant? See what they say. Apparently, 2064 says, my 5-year-old daughter said, no, mommy, only girls can have babies. 5-year-old daughter. Correct. 6256. There was a slightly, oh no, that's old. She's a 10 loves, I don't know what that means. She's a 10, loves fishing, and can back up a trailer. What does that mean? Senator Hawley, can men get pregnant? Dr. Verma, I treat women. I treat people with different identities. And then this person, a lot of you are like, oh, Senator Hawley should have said this or should have said that. I mean, that's all well and good. I think Senator Hawley did quite well in identifying the issue. And identities don't equate to biology. You're exactly correct, 4667. Let's talk to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. I am noticing that that we have to continuously get the train back on the tracks, as it were, for the Generation Y and the Generation Millennials, so that they understand that if you're a man, you provide children, and if you're a woman, you carry children. And so, that is, I don't know why that we have to continuously set them back on their tracks, but that seems to be what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we have to reset over topics that I thought were pretty much settled science by the time you're 11, 12, 13 years old. Boys have, did we not learn all of it? Hey, by the way, Jackson, if we ever do take back up the Matt Murphy movie Mayhem on Fridays, have you told me that you've never seen Kindergarten Cop, or you have seen Kindergarten Cop?
Have not seen Kindergarten Cop.
I've got, so the way that we triggered doing this again is that I watch Bad Santa, right? And then that will reset and re-trigger Matt Murphy movie Mayhem for 2026. I need to do that if for no other reason than to assign you Kindergarten Cop, where you'll find the fabulous line where, so the premise of the movie is Arnold Schwarzenegger is an undercover police officer, and he has to pretend to be a kindergarten teacher. And there's a series of circumstances that leads him to that. And Jackson, he's sitting in class, and these kids are so small, and the kids are asking him questions, and one kid raises his hand, and he thinks he's going to ask you a question, and he goes, yes, you. Yeah, it's not a tumor. That's where this comes from, by the way. I've got the headache. Oh, maybe it's a tumor. It's not a tumor. And the kid says, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
Come on.
That's what he said. That's the kid. And you know what Arnold Schwarzenegger said? Yes, that is correct. Thank you very much for that information. We appreciate it, youngster. Which, if I get into it, I do a pretty good Arnold. Everybody has an Arnold. It's a little shaky right now, but I think I can work myself into it. Everybody's got an Arnold.
The Terminator.
Get to the chopper.
Do
Get
it.
to the chopper.
Do it. Kill me. Kill me. I'm right here. Kill me. Do it.
Everybody's got a Arnold and everybody's got a Christopher Walken. No?
I don't got one.
You don't have a Christopher Christopher Walken talks like this.
You can hang your clothes in me.
The Continental, you can have ants on a log. Yeah. Jeff is next. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Matt.
How are you, buddy?
Grab my hand.
Oh, no, the Continental. Take my hand.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, this doctor that's for Congress there, trying to explain that men and women men can get pregnant. It reminded me of Bill Clinton trying to figure out what the meaning of is.
It all depends on what the meaning of is. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, that's good. But what I'm worried about is like the Supreme Court is figuring out that if these people can participate, going to keep same sex in the same sex sports. Well, it's a good thing that it's getting men out of women's sports, but what are we going to do with the trans men who are women in the women's sports? And they're all hopped up on all tons of testosterone and can grow a better beard than Ken Weaver. I mean, it's going to be like,
Well, you don't see a lot of it.
Olga.
But what I like is that you don't see a lot of it floating the other way, right? You see a lot of these dudes who decide they want to be chicks, and whether it's legit or not, I have no way of knowing. But then they want to compete in women's sports. What you don't see a lot of are women that decide they want to be dudes, and maybe there are some of them that want to compete in men's sports, but guess what? They don't get to do. They never get to the point where they actually compete because they're not good enough, because men and women are different, and biologically we're different. And I'm not saying every man is stronger than every woman, but on balance, men are stronger, more physically capable than women on balance, and that's where we are.
Yeah, I'm just worried about, the women that do that. It's going to be like going up against the East German team, My name is Helga, I'm on the women's court. But, that's going to be wild because, like I say, they're all testosterone up and everything. And so they've got, I've got a good friend that has a daughter that thinks she's a man and is trans and everything, taking all the hormones and stuff. And she's a little brick house. I mean, she went from a dainty little thing to, I'd hate to mess with her, and she can grow a better beard than I can.
Well, most can grow better beards than me, but, there you go. I don't know where we go from here, man. Just cut off the medicine and let's see where it goes. You don't get to simply decide. And if you want to decide, that's fine. If you want to mentally say, if you want to say, hey, I want to be a woman now, that doesn't mean that biologically you weren't born a man. That doesn't mean that somebody assigned that to you and they assigned it wrong. It's so stupid. TB writes in and says, your father wore this watch. This watch. Butch. There was a time where I could do that, almost do that entire monologue. I wore this uncomfortable hunk of metal up for 5 years. 53 after the hour on Super Talk. As we wind down our day today, only about a minute left. And thank you to our good friend Brian Wilson, who will be filling in for me Monday as we officially move to Mount Pleasant, by the way. Excited to have Wilson back in the afternoon. Don't get too used to it, though. I'm back on Tuesday. But Brian writes in, 6 U.S. tankers have taken off from Qatar at an air base there. A conga line of flights outbound from Qatar. So I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll find out. Might mean that it's happening. Might mean that we are engaged in a military strike. We will keep you informed right here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN throughout the course of the evening. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, Dan Mandis will catch you up with all of the events that happen overnight at 5 a.m. with the Naturals Morning News. Until tomorrow, a Thursday edition for Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, have a great evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.